Thank you, President Mando, for that warm introduction. And again, welcome to Williams College. I know you'll do great things here in service to our community. I would especially like to thank President Mando, Tiku Mujumbo, Kelly Gale, Brooks Fall, Deb Lapine, and the entire Williams College faculty, administration, and alumni office for their gracious and extraordinary outreach efforts on my behalf. I am just so happy to be back at my beloved Williams College with my family and loved ones, and most honored to have been chosen to share reflections with you, class of 2019, on this landmark day in your lives. On this bold, brand new chapter in the history of Williams, it is not lost upon me the magnitude of this moment. We celebrate the first president of Williams College, who happens to be a woman, and the first African-American woman given the Convocation address since its founding in 1793. This is a brand new day indeed. As I reflect as your alum on my road, very less traveled, from my time here in the Purple Valley and now back, it is my distinct honor and delight to report back to you, my beloved Eves. Key findings I hope you will find useful in your final year here at Williams and beyond. Number one, associate yourself with a great Eve tribe to support you, for they are crucial to your survival beyond the Purple Valley. Fellow Eves, family, and a small core of friends have been a consistent and invaluable support system along the way and have stood as shining beacons of light on my road less traveled to the top of the corporate ladder and back to the Purple Valley. Each of you were very, very carefully selected to be part of this extraordinary, diverse community. And if in these last months here, you take a moment to get to know someone who seemingly on the surface looks very different from you, you will be so much better for it. There is a bounty of riches in the Williams College liberal arts experience, and I hope you will fully mine before you leave this amazing place. For instance, Williams lacrosse player Angus O'Rourke. Did you know that Williams varsity football player Desmond Butler also volunteers for the Midnight Mission to help the homeless rejoin their communities? Williams soccer team champion Madison Feeney. Did you know that Ashish Solanki helped to found an internationally renowned nonprofit in India that was recognized by the UN for its work to rehabilitate commercial sex workers by training them to become skilled, certified beauticians, thereby ensuring dignified and sustainable employment? Or his work with Stop the Acid Attacks helps acid attack victims by providing them funding for medical surgical costs and the necessary financial and educational resources to pursue their dreams? Civil rights advocate and future lawyer Christine Temple. Yeah. Did you know that Rainer Wassinger is passionate about climate change and that pre-med Kaylee Forbes Cockle has done work with the Yale hospital system on behalf of political asylum seekers and at-risk youth in New Haven? Alexander Walters, as you head to your Wall Street career, did you know that Jason Kim is a first-generation American, an economics and physics TA who has amazingly made Dean's List every single semester, is a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, and is the proud owner of 7 pairs of colored eyeglasses. Spoiler alert, the orange ones are his favorite. Particularly in these days and times, while you are here, learn to see the beautiful humanity in everyone you meet, for we are all great and triumphant souls. We are much more alike than different. You just never know what new frontiers beyond the Purple Valley you may be able to discover and create together by taking a moment to get to know each other. Find a little time in your schedule each week from this point forward until graduation to get to know one new Eve's extraordinary story. You will be so glad you did. Number 2, get to know your brilliant professors beyond the classroom. They will change the trajectory of your life. Williams English professor Emerita Alona Bell, in addition to being a brilliant scholar, was the singular influence who helped me develop an appreciation for the liberal arts educational process. She is a force of nature with a gentle style that taught me the importance of balancing educational rigor with taking the time to smell the fresh mountain air. She and her husband Bob would graciously invite students to their beautiful home to discuss great literary works. Their gardens looked like a scene straight out of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and to this day, she's one of the greatest spirits I have ever met and instilled in me a lifelong love of the arts, literature, and writing. Which brings me to number 3, mentorship matters. Amazing jazz vocalist and Williams tennis player Francesca Eluhu and Williams varsity player, football player David Grain are interested in pursuing careers in the entertainment industry and are among my Williams mentees. Serving them and working on their behalf to help them on their path brings me such great joy. I think careers in the entertainment industry are well suited for Williams students because, as President Mandel shared, because your well-rounded liberal arts education makes you uniquely prepared to think fast on your feet. And in my business, no 2 days are the same, and you have to wear many hats in order to succeed. Particularly in working with artists and interacting with people in all walks of life, I have found the best gift you can give anyone in this world is to make them feel heard and understood, to let them know that they matter. I tell my mentees first and foremost, be very discerning whose opinion you accept. Make sure they have your best interests at heart. As I encourage you, class of 2019, as well as my mentees, chart your own course, driven by your innate, God-given, parent-guided talent. Be brave, be independent, don't be intimidated, and demand your equal place. Class of 2019, develop the habit now within your social circles, community outreach, and club activities to become a mentor. Pick one freshman to help on your way out and aid in their development beyond your graduation. You will be much fulfilled by doing so in ways unimaginable today, but in future chapters of your life, you will find that will be a key part of your legacy, which hopefully is to elevate, empower, and inspire others. May this William Ward quote resonate with you, for each of us will one day be judged by our standard of life, not by our standard of living, by our measure of giving, not by our measure of wealth, but by our simple goodness, not by our seeming greatness. Number 4, the Williams Arctic Chill is indeed your friend. As many of you in this room know all too well, going to class and to the main dining hall to eat and retrieve your mail during the winter is very much like a hunting and gathering trek in the Arctic tundra. In Williams winter, which takes up most of the school year, unless you're big on skiing, you spend a lot of time trying to keep warm indoors. As President Mandel shared, in winter during my rare downtime here in the 80s, I would watch MTV in the common room of my dorm, back when music videos were still a new medium. Watching videos of Prince, Madonna, and Bruce Springsteen helped me unwind from the rigors of the Williams course load. I loved the creativity of the channel. Their programming was unlike anything I had ever seen on television. I found this new fledgling network keenly tuned into what I valued in culture at the time, namely music and style. By watching, I also strongly felt I was in a community of like-minded people who thought and lived outside of the box. As a result, I knew instantly in my core that contributing to society within the creative community was something I was going to do. Watching MTV got me through the Williams Arctic Chill and ultimately shaped my decision to pursue a career in the entertainment industry. And within a few short years post-Williams, as shared by President Mandel, I was creating global marketing campaigns and producing concerts for those same artists and many more. Embrace the cold and use that time indoors to reflect on what you really want to do with your one and only wondrous life. For as Nicole Hill says, cherish your dreams as they are the children of your soul, the blueprints of your ultimate achievements. Rachel, Kai Cash, Jose Maria Salvestrini, forge a bold new path. You have only one life to live. Prince, Madonna, Diana Ross, and countless other artists taught me to bravely embrace and celebrate my unique worldview. For as Marianne Williamson shares, please remember Rocky, Olade, Sean, and Danielle. The purpose of our lives is to give birth to the best which is within us. Marilgina and Philemon, no pessimist ever discovered the secret of the stars or sailed to an uncharted land or opened a new door for the human spirit. Change the game, own your brand, get free, change the narrative. Leonard Bopp, Isabel Pena, Lizzie Hibbert, and Moses Roman Mendoza. Set peace of mind as your highest goal and organize your life around it. Number 5, stand for those who stood for you. In addition to amazing Williams students and outstanding faculty and administrators who helped me navigate my way during my time here, my Aunt Rita and Uncle Wallace Pete lived about an hour away in Albany and were a crucial part of my local family support system. They were both high-ranking New York State government officials who would come to get me for the weekend anytime I wanted to take a break from campus and was in need of family time and a good home-cooked meal. My Aunt Rita, who passed away shortly after I graduated from Williams, was the epitome of strength, grace, elegance, and style. She used to bring me to her office and was the first person to teach me how to conduct myself in a professional manner, write corporate memos, and take me to the mall to teach me how to dress appropriately for any occasion. My Uncle Wallace and her invaluable life lessons completely shaped how I conduct myself professionally and in my personal life to this day. My Uncle Wallace has been my rock my whole life. Nothing deterred him from coming to Williams whenever I asked, no matter how many feet of snow was on the mountain on my way here to the Purple Valley. He was here for every Williams family day and made sure I kept pocket money so I could fully enjoy the Williams life. Through his dedicated example, he taught me the importance of putting family first, no matter the circumstance. And in key life moments post-Williams, those lessons served me crucially well. After graduating from Harvard Business School, I began making a name for myself, developing and successfully executing global marketing strategy for musicians represented by major labels, including Warner Brothers Records, Sony, and Universal Music Group. Over the course of my 20-plus year career, I was widely credited for selling hundreds of millions of records by introducing new artists to the marketplace and revitalizing the careers of music legends. Every single thing changed while I was working as Vice President of Marketing for Universal Music Group the moment my daughter Madison was born. My priorities were immediately tested as a woman executive, and I had to make some very important life choices. Luckily, I had learned so much from my ETH tribe that those decisions, once you arrive, became relatively easy to make. My mom, Helen Murray, and my undulating Patterson were my saving grace. My mom instilled in me a strong work ethic in my very early childhood and worked hard to support our family. She was a tough, brutally honest, no-nonsense parent who fully expected me to head to college, excel academically, and go on to have a successful career, never using race or gender as an excuse. Because of the things I learned from them, I made very clear career choices, shifts, and sacrifices so that I could be there for Madison as a present parent. It can be a 24/7 work week, so I had to set my boundaries very early on. And after being her parent for over 18 years now, I am most proud to say my now college freshman is well on her way to achieving great things in her own right. In 2015, seeking even more control over my schedule, I became chairman of my own company, Para Music Group, which stands for Producers, Arrangers, and Recording Artists. We source music from over 144 countries for use in film, television, ad campaigns, and for sale on various online platforms. We are one of the Sony Music Entertainment labels, and our music is marketed and distributed through their Orchard division. I've now worked with and have great relationships with every major recording artist and entertainment executive on the planet that I've ever admired while I was a Williams student. I'm also very proud to say I've helped and mentored many people along the way. But it all started with the support of all those who stood for me before I could stand for myself. I'm forever in their debt and actively try to pay it forward every day. Use your elite Williams College education to elevate your families, community, and your country. For to whom much is given, much is required. Seek to make a real difference in this world. As I reflect now on this season of my life, I now know my greatest achievements are not my Williams and Harvard's degrees, nor the platinum albums that line my walls, nor Grammys on the shelf. But this, my daughter Madison, sounds a bit cliche, but to be responsible for a life and as a parent unleashing that legacy on the world is a true measure of your mark in this space. As you go out into this world and embark on your important careers, please keep your priorities straight by keeping your family first. Sounds simple, right? You will see soon enough. During our welcome reception for President Mandel, graciously hosted by Class of 2019 parents David and Lisa Grain, David shared the story of the Peruvian glacier birds with his son who is graduating this year. Glacier birds build their nests in the sheer glacial ice high in the Andes Mountains. When their eggs hatch, the mother heartily feeds her young birds so they can grow strong quickly and learn to fly before the ice melts and the nest is destroyed. In the documentary, most of the birds ate heartily, grew, and learned to fly from the nest. However, one of her young birds just ate and refused to learn to fly, even though it had grown strong enough to do so. Racing against time and the ice melting that would surely bring certain death for anyone left in the nest, the mother bird abruptly stopped feeding her last bird. Although getting hungrier by the day, it still refused to fly. One day, as the now rapidly melting ice was about to bring final destruction to the nest, the mother bird, as a last-ditch effort, simply pushed him from the nest as it tumbled down the mountain, and guess what? The bird flew triumphantly from the nest. As David Grain is teaching his son, and I am sure many of your parents are now teaching you, sometimes the best helping hand you can get is a good, firm push. Only then, my fellow glacier birds here in the Arctic tundra, will you find that your wings work. As my beloved Maxwell Okanzi shares, the day his sons graduated, he was joyfully willing to give them a one-way ticket to anywhere except back home. Many of you in this room, as soon as the snow melts right before graduation, will be using your wings sooner than you think. So eat hearty and don't worry, they work. As I also tell my beloved daughter Madison, the old Chinese proverb, dig the well before you are thirsty. They call us parents empty nesters for a reason. Yes, graduation is sooner than you think. Tick-tock goes the LaSalle gym clock. Oh, a liberal arts that's for the parents. You know, a lot of them aren't here today, but I send their sentiments. A liberal arts education teaches you to think fast on your feet. This will especially keep you safe from all the skunks you're sure to face in the real world. In the early 80s, even though Williams was fully co-ed, the atmosphere still felt extremely male-dominated. It seemed like the frat houses had just closed and tried to rejigger themselves to fit women. Despite co-education, the college had not shaken its all-male roots. Entering Williams College at the age of 16 from an inner-city high school in New Jersey, competing with students from elite boarding schools and an incoming class of only about 10 people who looked like me, was quite an adjustment, to say the least, even though I was a straight-A student who had skipped grades prior to arriving on campus. So many of my peers on campus were a bit older than me, which made it challenging at times to find common ground. I knew I had to stretch and expand myself beyond my years in order to succeed. Professor Rosenheim and Professor Manigault Bryant, I felt like a fish out of water that landed in the Purple Valley. While I absolutely loved the beautiful physical environment of Williams, it took me a while to adjust to student life. Due to the rigors of the heavy coursework, I was singularly focused on succeeding academically. One of the first things I learned here in Biology 101 was that either an organism adapts to its new environment or dies. At that moment, Williams instantly became less pastoral and more like an extended episode of Survivor. Armed with my new survive or die mantra, I sought out mentors to help me adjust to life on campus and found them whom I lovingly call my ETH tribe. But overall, I must say that being a first-gen woman of Williams during the 80s served me well, primarily because it was not particularly warm and welcoming to women during that time. It was a struggle to find my voice, and overcoming that challenge was a gift that prepared me better than anything to face the daily real-world challenges as a senior executive woman in the male-dominated entertainment industry. I have found the quote by Charles Swindoll to be quite true in times of challenge in my workplace, that courage is not limited to those in the battlefield. The real tests of courage are much quieter. They are the inner tests, like enduring pain when the room is empty, or standing alone when you're misunderstood. Indeed, through its academic rigor, less than warm climate, and focused and engaged human interactions here in the Purple Valley, Williams College truly prepares you for those moments you will face in the real world. Always remember, you have a voice that matters. Trust your vision and change the world. Or as my beloved Tiger Mom says, you have come this far, you better stay ready. Remember this, in times of challenge and victory, ducks quack, eagles soar. Or as I like to think about it, Jeffs quack, Eves soar. Class of 2019, every good wish on your road less traveled. Thank you so much for this honor to speak with you today.